Eliran Leonard. I was the ball holder during this experiment.
Alejandro Pufeles, I was the data recorder in this experiment.
Marco Churki, I was a recorder.
I'm Lucas Thomas, and I did the calculations.
Our time slot was on Tuesday, January 15th from 2 to 3 p.m.
In this exercise, we took balls of different materials and dropped them on various plates of also different materials and recorded the height they bounced at.
Also known as the restitution.
Yes.
The coefficient of restitution is the square root of the ratio between bounce 1 and the initial height, between bounce 2 and bounce 1, and so on and so on, and then get the average between these numbers. The coefficient of restitution is also the relative velocity after the collision over the relative velocity before the collision. We believe that the collision involving the neoprene ball and the black plate will be the one with the lowest E value, in other words, causing the shortest bounce. This is because both are very moldable, so when they collide, a lot of energy is used up in order to deform both of the surfaces, causing energy to be dissipated and be externalized out of the system. We think that Durlin is the most flexible and moldable material, while aluminum is the least. During the collision, the plate does not get deformed, hence it conserves energy in the impact. Most of the energy will go back to the ball, causing it to go up higher. Also, we believe that this combination will create the least amount of noise, causing more energy to be conserved within the system.
A real-world example of the coefficient of restitution is a collision. For example, a car crash, using the coefficient of restitution, we could see what type of collision it is, being inelastic, elastic, or other types.
Alright, for instance, we dropped a ball of a certain material. In this case, it was Durlin ball. We dropped it at a height of 20 inches and recorded the heights of each bounce and got the data here as 50.5 and so on. With that information, then calculate E here using this equation as you saw earlier. This ends up being 0.8803, and we did that for 4 different combinations of balls and plates and recorded the data on this Excel sheet over here.
Our goal in this experiment was to be able to determine the coefficient of restitution of bouncing balls and different materials. This may be important for our major structural engineering because when dealing with structures, you may have to foresee different collisions or accidents and predict the outcome in the real world.
Our run, we ended up using neoprene with black plate, and at the height of 20 inches, we ended up calculating that the max E restitution is 0.5 and the minimum is 0. So since we averaged that out and we got 0.3. And then the second trial was the Delrin and aluminum plate. Our max value of the restitution is 0.9147. The minimum value is 0.8803, and the average, we calculated the average to be 0.8953. We ended up using nylon with acrylic plate. The E max is 0.8389. Our minimum is 0.6689, and then we calculated the average to be 0.7642. And then the last trial that we ended up using is nylon with aluminum plate. We calculated that the max restitution is 0.8898. Our minimum is 0.8732, and we calculated the average for 0.8809. Go ahead.
So after performing our experiment of dropping balls of different materials into plates of different materials, we calculated their particular E's. Neoprene being on the black plate being 0.3, the coefficient of restitution of Durlin on an aluminum plate being 0.895, the coefficient of restitution of nylon on an aluminum plate being 0.881, and nylons on acrylic E was 0.764. We compared these values to some values found online. We found that nylon is 1.28 and aluminum is supposed to be 0.1, but we do not know how these values were tested. We do not know against what materials they were bounced on, so we cannot fully compare ours because we use different materials made of the ball and of being the plate, different one.
From our conclusions, all of the coefficients of restitution were greater or less than 1, so we can conclude that they are in fact real world inelastic collisions, because in that scenario E is in between 0 and 1. And so for the next exercise, we're going to use the ones with the greatest coefficient of restitution, which happen to be sterling with the aluminum with a 0.895.
So the two biggest errors that we saw within this experiment was the ball not bouncing vertically, so it jumped different places around the plate. And the second error that we saw was that we weren't able to see the exact measurement of the ruler through our phone.
So coefficient of restitution can be compared to Newton's law, where everything has an equal but opposite reaction. But considering this is in the real world, we're going to have to take in external effects such as air drag. And so where this statement doesn't hold entirely true, and the system was going to lose some energy in the process.
In order to make this experiment even better, we could, instead of being an open system, we could close it down. So when the ball drops, it doesn't translate and just bounces straight up and down. And another way to further better the experiment would be to replace the phone camera and use one that would have more frames per second.
So some outside sources that we use for this experiment is an article by physics.aps, and the second one is Collision Responses by Chris Hecker, which was a piece.